excited to bring on our next guest from the Heritage Foundation, Mike Rigas. He's Deputy Director of Coalition Relations at the Heritage Foundation, where he creates and leads coalitions within the conservative movement to advance free market principles and limited government public policy solutions. And prior to joining Heritage, by the way, he was the political director of the Massachusetts Republican Party, where he worked with candidates to double the number of seats held by Republicans in Massachusetts in 2010, the greatest percentage increase for Republicans in any state in the nation that year. And I bring him on now, Mike Rigas.
Good morning, everyone. How many folks here are familiar with the Heritage Foundation? All right, friendly crowd. Well, I'm very happy to have been able to bring a little bit of the Heritage Foundation up here to New Hampshire today. As you mentioned, I am a native of Massachusetts, and so I always love coming up to New Hampshire for all the great things Howie mentioned. Cheap everything, basically, when you live in Massachusetts. So we've got a table out front here, and I hope you'll avail yourselves of some of the material out there to help you guys. This is the intellectual ammunition that you guys need to be able to keep up the fight for liberty and hold your members of Congress accountable. Ronald Reagan used to say, if we can't make them see the light, then we got to make them feel the heat. And so the Heritage Foundation tries to help folks see the light, and our sister organization, 501c4, Heritage Action for America, they help to hold members of Congress accountable, and they help to make them feel the heat when they're not seeing the light. I'll just give you a quick overview of some of the things we've got out there. One is this great little pocket pamphlet on the impact of Obamacare, and this will tell you all the things we all know it's horrible, but this will give you the facts and figures about that you can use to make the arguments about its impact on doctors, patients, the elderly, businesses, families, folks who are uninsured, and unfortunately, it doesn't actually improve things for any of those folks. We've got some great information on the debt limit, what we're doing, the Heritage Foundation has a great plan to, in terms of how we need to deal with the debt limit. It involves cutting wasteful spending, reforming entitlement programs, and putting our country on a path to balance in 10 years. These are all sort of just one-page fact sheets, so you guys please help yourself to them. I know you're all going to be looking at Medicaid expansion in New Hampshire in the next couple of weeks. I actually just spoke to Senate President Chuck Morse here about that. But New Hampshire is the cost. Medicaid expansion is the classic gift of a free elephant, where the food is free for the first year. After that, you have to pay for all the food, and then everything that comes out the other end. So in New Hampshire, that's just in the next 10 years, it's $126 million once the federal government matching grant. How many people, folks, here think that the federal matching, which they promised they would pay 100% of the cost for the first 3 years, how many folks here think that is going to continue on year 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Exactly. It's not. And the last thing we've got is some information on Common Core, which is a terrible federal takeover of our education program, pushing parents and local control out in favor of federal bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. So we've got some information out there on how to combat that. And I would just say, I'm actually from Jamaica Plain, which is a neighborhood in Boston. And in Jamaica Plain, we've got the Sam Adams Brewery. Now, I don't know if Sam Adams actually made beer when he was a founding father, but he said something which was very profound. And I want you all to remember this and keep this in mind as we're fighting. I know we've only got folks who are amenable to sort of our point of view in one House of Congress right now, but Sam Adams said it does not require a majority to prevail, but rather an irate, tireless minority keen to set brush fires in people's minds. That's us. So I need you all to continue being a keen, tireless minority, setting brush fires in people's minds. And I'll leave you with one final thought. We are in the cradle of liberty here, where the American Revolution was fought. And another Adams, John Adams, remarked after the revolution, he said, victory was never assured. He said, during the time this whole fight was going on, he said about a third of the people were with us, a third of the people were against us, and a third of the people were waiting to see who was going to win. So you are the 1/3 of the people who are with us. It's always been this way. I know it seems like we are in a fix right now, but it's always been like this. And we need you guys to keep up your spirits and stay fighting and hold your members of Congress accountable. And please keep yourselves informed and help yourselves. I want to see that table that I've got out there cleaned out from all the material I brought up here from New Hampshire and spread it around to your friends and neighbors, and keep up the fight for liberty. Thank you all very much.
Croc TV.